At 8:34, it's Richmond's Morning News on News Radio WRVA. Good morning. We are one day away from the opening of the brand new CarMax Park here in Richmond, Virginia. It'll replace the Diamond. Opening day is sold out, but we will broadcast live from the ballpark tomorrow beginning at 6 a.m. Now, I'm excited about this. This is going to be incredible. And it's something to behold. If you got a ticket for tomorrow's game, you get to be one of the first to walk in to see professional baseball at the brand new ballpark. It is simply a dream come true for so many people. And I was watching some retrospectives. Like, I haven't lived here forever, but I have been through ballpark building travails over my lifetime. I've worked on ballpark campaigns to get them approved by voters. I've worked on stadium initiatives. There's one point I tried to buy a minor league baseball team along with some other partners. We got pretty close. And I started working on what it takes to build a ballpark. And it's got to be a community. It's got to be an ownership group. And it's got to be civic leaders that all get together to see the grand scheme of how this improves the quality of life in the community. And it's taken a long time. It's taken a long time to bring CarMax Park to fruition. It started when the Richmond Braves left because the Diamond had just become too old and antiquated. And then the Squirrels show up a time later with the promise of, we're going to get a new ballpark. And there were so many different back and forths over the year. Does it go in Shockoe Bottom? Does it go here? Does it go there? So many different iterations. And then when you start seeing the original architect designs and the mock-ups of it, oh, this is going to be beautiful. And then somebody else goes, no, we don't want to do this. And there's always one or two people like, I hate this. I don't want this. It's so difficult to build a ballpark, but you've got to give it to the Squirrels. And the city of Richmond will see the brand new ballpark open tomorrow. And I am thrilled. 30 years working in sports, I only got to go to one ballpark opening. I've only been to one brand new ballpark opening in my life, and that's which is now Oracle Park. It was AT&T Park. Actually, it was Pac Bell Park, where the San Francisco Giants played. And that was the first time I ever walked into a brand new stadium on the opening day, on the first day. It's going to be incredible what we'll have at CarMax Park tomorrow. So we're going to broadcast live beginning at 6 a.m. inside the press box, and we're going to invite as many dignitaries and guests that we can get to show up or call into the program, and we'll celebrate something that's going to be very unique, and that's the brand new ballpark. So we'll broadcast live from 6 to 10. Don't ask me for tickets. I don't have any tickets for opening day. In fact, I'm going to work my way into the ballpark because I volunteered. I told Anthony Opperman, the general manager, who's a friend of the program, I said, I want to be there. What can I do? So I've actually volunteered that I will do whatever it takes to get in there that day, and I'm actually going to work. He said, yeah, Rich, we'll find you something to do. So I think I'm going to be a vendor somehow, some way. Maybe you'll see me out there selling programs to the front gates. Hey, get your program here. Brand new ballpark, get a program here. Can't enjoy the game without a program. So maybe I'll sit there before the game. I don't know. Maybe, you know what? Maybe they let me be an usher for a couple innings, and I'll just, hey, welcome to CarMax Park. Can I help you find your seats? I don't know if they let me behind there to sell hot dogs, but maybe they'll have like the hot dog cannon. I could do that. How about I get to sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game"? Whatever it's going to be, I'm going to be omnipresent at the ballpark tomorrow. And if you got a ticket, make sure you come by, say hello. There's still, I believe, tickets available for this first week of games inside CarMax Park. And I've gone through and had a private tour, and I will tell you, it is more than you could ever expect. Let me say that one more time. It will meet your expectations and then some if you're going to the ballpark tomorrow or sometime this week. It is, in a word, spectacular. And Richmond deserves this. You're going to see things that you never saw at the Diamond. So I know a little bit about this because I've worked with architects, when I tried to build a ballpark a couple different times. Worked on building a football stadium as well, but worked on trying to build a ballpark. And the one thing that you would get at the concourse of the diamond is you couldn't see the game. Now you have a 360 degree of the field wherever you are. So if you're standing in line to get a hot dog and a soda and a beer, boom, you'll be able to see the field. So you never feel like you're standing behind a pillar. Every seat is spectacular. There's outfield grass, but it's not a berm like you have in spring training sites where kids roll down the hill. It's actually tiered so you can enjoy it. There's specialty seating. They're really nice seats with that are all inclusive behind home plate, are really nice, but they're up a little bit so average fans can still get a chance to sit first row behind home plate, second row behind home plate. Those seats are incredible. There's specialty seats out in the corners. There's party areas, which are going to be great. And then the suites are as nice as you'll find at Nats Park. But there's some special suites out in the left field, beyond the left field wall, that are boxcar seats. They're boxcar seats. There's a bar and a TV and a couch, but it's open. So you can see the whole ballpark, but you get some shade, there's some privacy. Those suites are incredible. The team store is awesome. It's just all the finishing touches they're putting on today. The paint's drying, some murals, some artwork. It's gonna be something. And when you enter the ballpark, instead of coming in behind home plate and then climbing the stairs the way you did to get into the diamond, you're actually going to come through and you'll be able to see just all the green grass and how beautiful it is as you come in through the center field entrance, which is the main entrance to get into the ballpark. I don't know about you, but I remember my very first baseball game. Super Dave, first ball game you ever went to was where?
Let's see. First baseball game definitely would have been St. Louis Cardinals.
Okay.
I'm guessing probably late 70s.
Were you a little kid?
Yeah, I was probably 8 or 9.
Okay, so my very first game was to see the Salinas Angels, and it was this old wooden structured baseball stadium where I grew up in Salinas, California, just inland from Monterey, south of San Francisco. We had a minor league baseball team, it was single A. And I remember we had box seats, and they actually had wooden boxes. And you sat in that box seat. It was the greatest thing in the whole wide world. And I'll just remember that to this day. And then my very first time seeing a major league game, here's what I remember. I was a little kid. And I remember walking in, and I just saw everybody's butt in front of me because you're just packed like sardines going through the aisle, going through the concourse. And then this is one of those old stadiums where you couldn't see the field all the way around. So as you walk in, all I saw was the people's butts in front of me. And then all of a sudden, it's just dark because you're a little kid. Everybody's a lot taller than you are. And as you're walking, you're just walking in this dark tunnel to get into the ballpark. And again, I've only seen baseball on television. I don't know what a real stadium looks like. But I remember walking. Then all of a sudden, you see just a little bit of sunlight over the people's shoulders in front of you. And then before you know it, the people in front of you take that first step down, walking down into the bowl to get to their seats. And probably 2 more steps, bright sunshine hits you in the face, and you see just this glare of green, of this beautiful, perfect grass out in front of you. And it's more green than you've ever seen in your entire life because you've never seen anything this big, that spectacular. And I remember just remembering how beautiful it was. I must have been maybe 7 years old, first time my dad took me to a baseball game in the big leagues, and I just remember how absolutely mesmerizing. I had never seen green. And if you ask me to think in my mind's eye what color green is, that's the picture that I have of how beautiful that grass is. That's the same green that you're going to get when you go into CarMax Park. When you walk in for that very first time, you're going to be blown away by that. And I'm going to tell you this. Can I just get a minute here, Super Dave? Because you know my sports background, I'm just going to tell everybody this. There's something special about baseball in America. There's something special about baseball in America because how we, a lot of us, mark milestones in our life. What year did you get married? Oh, I got married the same year the Yankees won the World Series. What year did you have your first kid? Oh, I had my first kid the year of this, and this person was the MVP. A lot of us will mark those passages of time by sports. But the other part of it that makes CarMax Park so special, here's what I'm going to tell you. Somebody is going to see their very last baseball game with their mom and dad this year at that stadium. Someone's going to go and experience that last joyful memory they're going to have of their grandparents at that stadium. Someone's going to go to their very first baseball game in their life, and they'll remember it the same way I remember watching the San Francisco Giants, the Atlanta Braves play. I'll remember that to the day I die because it's one of the greatest memories I'll ever have in my life. Someone's going to have that same experience walking into CarMax Park this year. Someone is going to meet their future wife or husband at CarMax Park. Someone is going to see an old friend that they haven't seen for years at CarMax Park, just bumping into them. Someone's mom and dad are going to meet at CarMax Park. And 12 years from now, they go, oh yeah, first year at CarMax Park, I saw your mom out in the outfield and started talking to her. Yeah, I met your dad. He spilled mustard on me and we started chit-chatting. Lifetime memories will be made at that ballpark for this community. And that's why this ballpark is so special. Yeah, it's great for the Flying Squirrels, and it's great for the development of Richmond, but it's going to be great for all of us because someone is going to be able to see the ballpark for the first time, and they're going to have lifetime memories that are going to be made there because it'll now be a focal point for this community to get together. So like I said, there's going to be a mom and dad that will meet there for the very first time. There's going to be someone who's going to go to the ballpark, their grandparents are going to take them, and that'll be the last time they spend time with their grandparents. There's going to be a baby that'll go to their first game, and someone's going to fall in love at CarMax Ballpark. It's going to be an incredible year, and I can't wait to be part of it in the morning. We'll broadcast live from CarMax tomorrow at 6 a.m. If you don't have your tickets for this opening week, get them. Be part of history being made here in Richmond, Virginia. All right, coming up on the